to Black Liberty Podcast. I appreciate everybody tuning in. And if this is your first time listening to the podcast, hit the subscribe button down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. So, today's topic is, whose responsibility is it to fix the Black community? In America, Black Americans are constantly told that we are responsible and we need to fix what's going on in our communities. We need to take accountability for what's going on in our communities. And see, this is a special topic for me because this is something that me and my auntie was discussing the other day, and she said some things that really touched me, and it's really hit me, hard. So as we continue to fight for social justice and equality in America, we have to bear the burden of being told we need to fix our communities, our Black communities in the country. And the power structure that controls America continuously try to push the blame on Black Americans. Now, is this true though? After 400 years of having what we built destroyed, after 400 years of having what we built flooded underwater and erased from history, are we still responsible for what goes on in our communities? Is it still our responsibility to get rid of crime and get rid of drugs and get rid of the things that go on that are destroying? Is it our responsibility to stop fighting each other? Like, again, this is a special podcast. Now, one of the things that she said that really stuck with me is she said, "Zay, I'm tired of seeing us killing each other." She said, "I'm tired of seeing babies kill each other over the pettiest things." That really stuck with me. It really touched me. Because I'm usually the one that I have all the statistics. I do my research. I look up everything. I read about everything before I even talk about it. But it's just though hearing those words, I had to kind of recollect myself and really rethink some things through. Why do we kill each other like we do? Why do we fight each other like we do? With all the enemies that we have in this country, why do we continue to destroy each other? Now, I'm a firm believer in always trying to get an understanding of why things are the way that they are. Things don't just happen to be happening. There's always a root cause to why they are the way that they are. Now, even with that being said, us as Black people in this country, yes, we must take responsibility and take accountability for the things that are going on in our community. But in order to take accountability, you must understand why Black communities are the way that they are. We're talking about 400 years of generational trauma. We're talking 400 years of generational pain. And it's not something that we decided to just do to each other. It's been a process by the power structure in this country. And we know what kind of power structure we're talking about. When you look throughout history and you see all the Black communities that we built, look at what happened to those communities. Out of anger and hatred, because those communities were thriving under Black control, the white supremacist power structure in the country went in and destroyed those towns. And it's coming out more and more about the Black towns in America that have been flooded underwater and erased from history. And it's now being exposed. And these are just a few of the things that have led up to the black communities being the way that they are today. Like I said, I agree. There are a lot of things in the black community that we as a people must take accountability for. But things will never change because until we begin to stand up as a whole and destroy the power structure that put blacks in these communities in the first place. We don't have the power to control what's going on. We can make the choice to say, I'm not going to do this. We can make the choice to say, I refuse to allow myself to become a statistic. And there are many of us who do. Where I come from, I made the choice to no longer want to live in poverty. But we must understand that even though I made the choice, there are many in the black communities who are denied the education and the resources to be able to even know that they have a choice. Many of us are born in places and in areas where we don't have the option to even say, I need to get out of here. Lack of resources, lack of education. When you grow up and you experience nothing but trauma after trauma after trauma on top of the power structure in America, increasing the trauma generation after generation after generation after generation, you are born with PTSD. You are born with trauma. You are born into a system that automatically labels you an animal. So from birth, you believe that you're an animal. You're treated like you're an animal. So then as you grow, this becomes the reality for you. When you look at the education system, when you look at what's being taught in school, and this is why they don't want to teach critical race theory, when you look at what's being taught in school, look at the history book. It's being taught that European society is superior to blacks. They had all the knowledge. But the truth of the matter is, Africans gave them astrology. We gave the world mathematics. We gave the world science. We gave the world religion, spirituality, agriculture, architecture. But then as a black child in America, when I go into a school and I open up a history book and all I see about myself is that I was illiterate and living like an animal, I am going to reciprocate that same image that is being taught to me. But like I said, though, don't get me wrong. We have to take responsibility for what we're doing to each other. We have to. We all have to get on the same page, but we all must understand that there is a starting point to why we are the way that we are. So back in slavery, what they used to do what was called, you had buck breaking, which is basically because the African man was revered when it came to his wife and his children. He was the head. He was who they respected. So they did buck breaking. Buck breaking basically is they would degrade him. They would, a lot of times they would rape him in front of his wife and his children. So they no longer see him as masculine. They no longer see him as the head, someone who could protect. Then they would take the light-skinned slaves, put them in the house, dress them up a lot nicer, give them places to sleep, warm place to sleep, and they would put the darker skinned slaves in the field and make them work twice as much. Now, this does not mean that the slaves inside the house had it any better, because they were closer to the masters and the mistresses and stuff like that. So they were constantly and brutally raped on a daily. And we're talking to men, women, and children here. So then you go on to, after slavery, black code laws that re-enslaved us. Then you get into, down the line, you get into redlining that literally forced black communities into ghettos and poverty-stricken areas. And this is generation after generation, and it's still going on today. So me and my sisters, we went to a school, Northwest High School. Shout out. Northwest High School in Indianapolis, Indiana. And literally up the block, a 1-minute drive, you had another school, Speedway High School. The differences in these schools that are 1 block apart would blow your mind. I went to Northwest for 4 years. Dropped out my senior year. We moved to Speedway. I went to Speedway for 1 year and graduated. Me and my sisters had never seen a school with a swimming pool in it, and it blew our everlasting mind. The education in this white area, in this white school, predominantly white school, the education there was literally designed for those white kids to be successful. Everything about that school was new compared to the school on 34th Street, literally 1-minute driving distance up the road, where we were still using books from 20 or 30 years ago. You could still see the names written in them. We didn't have programs that were dedicated to make sure that we graduated. So we were able, me and my sisters, we were able to see the difference between a black school and a white school. And this white school literally had, it was second period class. And this class, it was called Plato. Any credits that you needed to graduate, they had this one period, this one class that would allow you to take 3 or 4 classes at the same time and get the credits that you needed to graduate. So why does this school have it and this school up the block don't have that? Why does this school up the block have a higher dropout rate compared to the white school? Why is that? Because it was designed that way. And then you look at what's going on now in those same communities, literally 1 block up the road, they are dumping money into Speedway, Indiana, rebuilding and rebranding everything. And a 1-minute drive up the block in the black and Mexican communities, they are taking money from. But then turn around and blame them for why they live in poverty, for why they're killing each other. Why are they fighting each other like that? They need to take responsibility, but yet they don't want to give black and brown communities the resources that they need to be successful. But they'll take money from those communities and rebrand and rebuild the white community right up the block. So what is the solution to this? First solution is we as a people have to stop allowing them to dictate how we feel about each other. We have to break this cycle and we have to break this generational curse that they have put on us to hate each other. We have to continue to fight in unity. We are going through the same struggles. We are going through the same issues and the same problems, every single one of us in the black communities, around the country, around the world. We are dealing with the same thing. If your skin has melanin in it, they hate you just like they hate me. My melanin might be a little lighter than your melanin, but at the end of the day, we both are melanated people and we both have the same history and we both come from the same place. So I don't hate you. You are my brother. You are my sister. I love you. And we got to stand and fight together. That's how we stop this killing in the black communities. That's how we stop this power structure of control in the black communities. That's how we continue to grow. You have a generation today, because of the things that have happened, trauma after trauma after trauma, you have a generation today that just doesn't care. Why would they care? So how do we change the narrative? How do we fix this? My generation, us, we got to stop being kids and grow up. And we got to start teaching these babies how to fix things, how to make things right. That's how we fix this. So at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, yes, we must take accountability for the things that go on in our communities, but we also must step outside of our communities and understand where we come from and why we must destroy the power structure that is giving us this hatred for each other. We're not born hating each other. We're all, if you are a person of color in this country, you are born with the same trauma. You are born into the same system, created to keep you down and make sure you don't succeed. So where do we go from here? How do we fix this? I want to know what y'all think. And if I'm wrong, I want y'all to tell me I'm wrong. And do it in a respectful way. Let's have a discussion. Let's have an open discussion about this. There are a lot of things in our communities that need to be fixed. Yes. But again, we have to step outside of our communities and we have to look at why we are the way that we are. When you grow up and you see things in the black community, you see the differences between the white suburb areas and the black urban areas. When you grow up seeing these differences, it affects you. It really does. It affects you. Like I was talking to my auntie and we, the example during the crack era, which was put into the black communities as an experiment, and you wonder why we don't trust police and we don't trust hospitals and shots and all that other type stuff. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother podcast. But they put these things into the black communities and criminalized us for being addicted to crack, threw us in jail, separated us from our families. But the opioid epidemic starts happening in the white communities, and they create programs. They call it a disease. They say these people need help. They don't know what they're doing. And they get them the help that they need. It's little disparities like that affect an entire community. And it affects the image in people's minds of those communities. Tell me I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, tell me. I'm just saying. If I'm wrong, tell me. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. I just wanted to get that off my chest. I wanted to start a discussion about this. Who's responsible to fix the black communities? Is it us? Is it the power structure that put us there? Whose responsibility is it? And how do we fix it? What do we do to fix it? Y'all leave y'all comments, in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I love each and every one of you, no matter what race you are. Let's make that clear. I love everybody. For those of you who want to continue to push that my podcast is racist, it's definitely not. I'm trying to bring to light the injustices. I'm trying to bring the truth about what's going on in this country, and I don't plan on sugarcoating it for nothing. Period. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I love everybody. I hope everybody stays blessed. Y'all stay safe out there. Stay safe out there. Let's come together in unity. Let's come together as a people. Let's fight and destroy the structure that we have today that is continuously trying to erase us from history. So again, I love everybody. Y'all continue to be blessed. Y'all continue to stay safe.